Alright guys, welcome to my Kingdom Come Deliverance review. It's review time. This review is going to probably be a little bit different than what you're used to, but we just talked to our dear old mother. We'll go ahead and eat some cheese, why not? Why not? It's here. Looks delicious. I would eat it if that were real cheese. But we're going to go ahead and eat this just so Henry doesn't interrupt us with his hunger. Alright. How I'm going to conduct this review, probably a little unlike other channels, how they do reviews. But I'm going to review the game and just go over some points about things that I've noticed. Completely freehand, no script, over a game of dice in the starting area. We'll just go ahead and take care of business here. We need money. And I'm not going to progress any of the storyline during this. We'll just go ahead and take care of this jackass. Yeah, looks good. Take all this. Oh, look at that. Gambling money right on him. That's all we need right there. Let's go ahead and deal with this. No one will even notice. Go ahead and lay him down. There we go. Hold up. Go ahead and, yeah, I like that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Looking good. Looking real good. I like that hat. That's what I want. Alright, sweet. Okay, we got our gambling money. Now we're off to go conduct the review. And that's going to be over a game of dice over here.
How goes trade? Well.
Alright, here he is.
You want to learn something? No, I don't think so.
Going straight to the gambler. Hey, pal. Alright. Guys, this game, I'm going to start off by saying, is exceptional. It is very fun. It really is. Now, when you make a statement like that, you think great, right?
I'll be with you.
Well, yeah, it is great. It's a fun game. Unfortunately, that statement comes with a caveat.
Way to use it than a game of dice.
The caveat being, it's great when it works. It's fantastic when it works. The game works 75% of the time. All right? That's not bad. 75% of the time, great. Because the 75% that it does work is very fun. The problem, the big problem is, the 25% that this game doesn't work is so frustrating and annoying due to the actual structure of the game that you don't know every time. You don't know, is this the way the game is intended to be? Is it not? You don't know. So you're wondering if it's a glitch. Is this the way the game is supposed to be? Do I just not have common sense? Yada yada yada. And let me tell you something about this game too. A lot of the time you're frustrated, get over it. That's the way the game is intended to be. Like, I remember, I'll think back to a part in my playthrough on my stream where basically I wandered around the forest for 45 minutes looking for the noble, I can't remember his name, that I was made to go on a hunt with in the storyline. You know? That was great, actually. That was actually fun. I was getting frustrated. I was wondering is the game glitching, because there's so many problems a lot of the time that you're kind of wondering. You're kind of wondering always in the back of your head, is this a glitch or not? And that can ruin the gaming experience. Most of the time it's fine though. Most of the time it's fine. But you always do have that thought in the back of your head. I ended up rolling up, finding that he was captured when we were on our hunt by some humans. I had to kill him, saved him, great. I found out that wasn't a glitch. It was just awesome. I literally got lost in the forest like a moron. So in that sense, the difficulty of this game that's present is fun. The sheer brutality and difficulty and the amount of real world common sense that will help you in this game is real. And it's fantastic. I can't speak well enough about the fact that this game makes you use your head and use real world common sense to solve problems. you know, let's take it back to this windmill scene I had when
Should I? Shouldn't I?
streaming.
No, I don't.
Hey. Hey now. We can't be done with dice. We're not done. Going back to when I'm looking for Timmy the invalid. He's a little slow. Maybe his name was Jimmy.
You up for a thrower?
Make that offer. Now he's really slow. We got to look for him. We run into his sister in this small little hamlet, small little town, village, whatever you want to call it. And his sister tells me a gang of 4 people show up. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh crap. And you're not thinking, oh crap, you know, for just any old reason. It's because it feels real. When 4 people roll up on you in this game, you're not going, oh, no big deal. I'm just going to kill them all with, I'll kill the first 2 with 2 separate karate chops. Then I'll do a spinning, flying heel kick to the guy behind me. And then I'll throw an elbow and then scissor kick the last guy. And then I'll save the princess. You're not thinking anything like that. You're thinking crap. Because 4 guys fully armed in heavy duty armor with heavy duty weaponry want to kill you. You make a wrong move. So it makes you think. You think, okay, well, what are my options? Your options are whatever in the chat, right? Okay, I can tell them where Timmy is, maybe try to beat them there, warn Timmy, poor old Timmy. I can just let them kill him. I can go there and become a part of the bandit group. So in that sense, there are so many dynamic sequences like this where I have to play the game now. If you're looking for replayability, you have to replay the game. You really do. Because there's so many options. And there's so many ways to forge a badass Henry. Really. And that's the way I look at it. You kind of are forging a badass Henry. Combat is sometimes insufferably hard. Any combat over 1 person is borderline, maybe what the kids today call autistic. I don't agree with the usage of that word today in that manner. But that's what the kids call it. This game is autistic.
This'll be the one.
Okay. Let's take an enemy comp. We'll look at it like this. An enemy composition would be the first guy is a sword and shield, you know, your basic run-of-the-mill sword and shield guy. Second guy is a bow user. Okay, that's nice. That's fun to fight against. It's fun to get in 2v1 situations until you run into a composition like this, right? Well, now all of a sudden you got 1 guy that you can barely lock onto, and you can't manage the game very well. You're almost thinking to yourself, how can I manipulate the game to make it fold over on itself so that I can keep progressing in the game without dying at the same spot a million times? Because I'm not gonna lie, even though the game is realistic, you have those real life tendencies where you're like, how do I get myself out of this trouble? You still would like to feel like a hero, wouldn't you? It's kind of the point of a video game. So this game is definitely not for everybody. And a lot of reviews are probably gonna rip this game apart for the fact that it is realistic, okay? And how real it is really doesn't go good with the bugs in this game. Really doesn't. And the structure of the game leaves you wondering, is this a bug? I sat waiting for Sir Radzig for 5 days when it told me to. I finally hurled myself off a cliff and killed the character. Restarted. I couldn't take it. I had reached my limit of redoing the same thing, wondering if it's a bug. Do I gotta wait 6 more days? I'm out of food. Maybe I go to a town. Do I go to a town and get food? I mean, it gets ridiculous. This game being on some sort of rails, that would be okay. They sacrifice a lot of the comforts of good game design with probably pining towards realism. They want the realism. At a certain point, when do you say, though, realism has to take a back seat to the game actually functioning like a game that you can actually play and experience? It's my idea of fun, sorry, real or not, and I do enjoy the realism of this game, but after trying to beat up the part with the villagers, they have plague, trying to heal them, Okay, they all died. My potion failed. I did that wrong. Blah, yada, yada, yada. Okay, go meet up with Sir Radzig and tell him what you did. After all of that headache, the last thing I want to do is go to where Sir Radzig is supposed to be. And he's not there. I wait for 5, 6, 7 days, a week, eating from the replenishing pot that's right there, sleeping in the bed, waiting. I'm bored. I punch my horse in the face. Horse runs off. I chase after it. I come back. Still not there. Wait another day. Okay, I can't take this anymore. I become suicidal having to live the life of Henry. Henry's life in this game is complete shit. Trash. I hurled him off the largest cliff I could find, and I ended his life. Because that's what this game makes you want to do. It really does. I've suffered multiple psychotic breaks playing this game because it's just insanely, the sequences this game expects you to do sometimes, and having to defeat its poor structure is one of the worst things about this game. But it's also the double-edged sword, is that what makes this game so bad is what makes it so wonderfully, beautifully, fantastically great. It really is a great game, probably one of the greatest games I've played in a long time, and I've got to say I'm very happy with it overall. That being said, you can see, how do I even give a game like this like a 1 out of 10? A 1 out of 10. Or a 5 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10. How do I give it an out of anything score? You know what I mean? The game is just not your average game, and it's absurdly different from other games to a point where you don't know half the time if you love it or hate it, but you're having so much fun that you would think you're loving it. It is a love-hate relationship that I think you would have to just buy to see if it's for you. I can tell you right now, if you're into perfectly structured AAA titles, this game is simply not for you. It simply isn't. That's one thing I can say for sure. If you want a perfect experience, this game is definitely 110% not for you. If you want a game where you're going to get a different experience, and an experience you will not have in any other game, and feel the heart of the developers in those moments, and that's your thing, this is the game for you. I enjoy the heart in this game. I enjoy the fact that it feels like it was a baby made by the developers who made it, like it was a love child. It was their gift to us in a way. They made it, they polished it as much as they can, and to be honest, with the sales they got, I'm expecting great things in the future. I'm expecting great, amazing DLC. I'm expecting more, and I'm very optimistic about future patches that may fix these problems I'm talking about. I mean, if Ubisoft can get away with making horrible games like For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Rainbow Six Siege, which happens to be my favorite game like ever that's competitive multiplayer, they can get away with making games like that garbage on day one and fixing them to where people are like, okay, this game wasn't a steaming pile of crap. Well, it was, it just isn't anymore. I think this game started off better than those. Better than that, because what you're experiencing is something new, raw, fresh, and delicious. It's a delicious game when you get right into it. So I think with a developer like this, we got to give them all the support we can. If you're enjoying the game, I think it's fantastic. All right, I've kind of been ranting.
Welcome.
I need to think up some main points here. Let's go ahead and pass the turn on. Okay, another thing is, I did say that everything is dynamic, right? Everything is dynamic for the most part. But some places they did drop the ball. NPC dialogue is not as fresh as you would expect from a game that is basically banking on having very unique dialogue and experience, right? You'd expect a game that's focusing on the story, the ambiance, over streamlined, delicious combat systems and questing, like a game maybe like Skyrim. I'd hate to say the Skyrim word in this review because I know a lot of people are going to compare it. They're nothing alike. They're nothing even remotely alike, okay? But a game that's sacrificing what a Skyrim game is For a game that's like this, you would expect richer, more well fleshed out dialogue and set pieces. You'd expect the sets to be beautiful. You'd expect the sets to be immersive, because that's what they're selling, is immersiveness. Well, I hate to say it, but that's just not so. One of the very first quests, Newhoff. Oh wow, he got 2,600, he wins, but he's gonna bust it because he's a fool. Here's another thing, the AI is dumb as a sack of hammers.
No point in pushing it.
He's dumb as a sack of hammers. I'm happy he won though, so I can keep the review going. In Newhoff, you go, you take care of everything. It's like the different dynamic options that you're given overlap each other in a way that just simply makes no sense. I don't have enough money. Okay, we can take care of that. We can take care of that. Hold on. I'll take care of that real quick. Let's go find this invalid, and we'll continue with the review. Where's this guy? Kunesh? There he is. All right, let's sneak up on him real quick. Okay, that was one thing I was gonna say here. All right, looks like we're throwing down. I didn't want this to happen. I just wanted to knock him out, for God's sake. Oh God. All right, all of a sudden he can throw down.
Insolent.
Okay, F this. Oh God. All right, one thing I was gonna say. Oh Jesus. Oh my gosh. Look at him, he's going off right now. You expect glitches sometimes to be unnoticeable. So a game like Skyrim that's highly polished, the glitches you get is horses walking up mountains. You know, you get glitches that are the giant slamming you into space that ends up becoming a multi-million-dollar meme that people profit off of. That is the worst a game it's that good has to offer. I mean, really, if you think about it, all the glitches made Skyrim famous. This game is just one giant bug. The bug is its overall infrastructure. It's just so sloppy, choppy, beaten to bits that it just doesn't work together. It's like a patchworked, it's like an abomination from WoW. Just patchworked rib cages, different dead bodies sewn together. That's what it feels like. You're never getting a fully polished experience. But like I said, that's going to be finished with the patches. Come on, Kunesh. This is getting ridiculous, dude. He's getting his face tore up, though. Oh my good God. More points, more points. If I wasn't in a fight, I could actually think better. I was running away. All right, well, let's go ahead and... That's the guy. That's the guy. I didn't realize he would turn away and run whenever he saw me again. All right, let's just try to sell this stuff and get back to gambling. The whole game is just a giant bug. So much so, just the basic infrastructure that you find yourself wandering around in is broken. So that's what I mean when I'm waiting a week for Sir Radzig. Is that a bug? Is that a bug? I don't know. I have no clue. Do I got to go find him? Do I got to go use common sense? A lot of this game feels like you just need to find your common sense and pull through. That's what I mean by that. It's like you just don't know, man. You don't know. This guy's literally gambled the shirt off my back. And I'm selling stolen goods like a crackhead. Get back to gambling. Sure. half price, I'll still get like all his gold.
No, that looks like stolen goods.
God, you're a real pathetic scumbag. What about you? Will you take stolen goods? Let's see some other points here. Combat. I really want to get into combat more so than I just did. Because here's the thing about it. Just like I said, it works great. It's fun. It's engaging. It is skill-based. 100% skill-based. The problem is, it doesn't always feel that way because of how broken it is. Like I said, it's basically borderline autistic if you gotta fight more than one person. There's a guy with a bow and a guy with a sword and a shield. That guy with the bow becomes buffed up to a degree where it's like, man, this is nearly impossible. Which gives you that real life feeling of life and death, life and limb. But like I said, you got to start thinking about how do I make this game fold over on itself. The way you do that just cause trouble.
A thief! People!
Cause trouble here.
Damn! A thief! He's stealing here! Help! Arrest that thief! Don't move him up.
Anything more than one person is just awful. Which brings me to large-scale combat, which is a big thing I want to talk about. Oh shit.
You stop right where you are.
You're under...
I'm gonna just stop here and stay in this talking. It's just beyond comprehension sometimes, this game. This game will boggle your mind. The first large-scale battle is in Prisbolitz,
Well,
which is the abandoned village that used to belong to Sir Divish. Bandits have taken hold there with humans, and you, Sir Radzig, and Divish's men are there to take it back and drive the bandits out because they're the ones who destroyed Neuhof. Go on this long, extravagant quest chain that feels fantastic, by the way, doing it.
I won't put up with any more of this. Keep it up, and you'll rue the day you cross me.
What's your game, boy? I'm not gonna...
What else? What else can I say about it? It's just... words can't describe it, is how bad it is. I spent roughly 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours replaying and replaying and replaying that large-scale battle because it's almost impossible. Sir Radzig gives you an order. Deal with those archers. Okay, let's deal with the archers. All right. Well, I'm going to run up and destroy them on the ramparts one by one in sword battle. Oh, wait, except you can't do that because it's just glitched beyond belief. You're walking up the stairs. Sometimes randomly your character starts falling backwards without touching anyone because they're so poorly made. You're literally sliding backwards. They're so narrow and small, all the enemy has to do is kick you one time and you will fall off. And then the other dozen archers that are up there will shoot their arrows into you and you die. Now, I don't necessarily mind the kicking thing because that makes sense. If you get kicked, you'd get kicked off the ramparts. That makes perfect sense. What doesn't make sense, all right, is the fact that, first of all, in a game that's supposed to be realistic, a battle-hardened captain like Sir Radzig tells you, one person, an untrained peasant he's taken as his squire, to go kill a dozen archers up ramparts alone. Does that make any sense? He hinges and if you fail, by the way, you will lose too many men to continue the fight. You will lose and you'll lose it and you'll have to start over again from the beginning. Okay, well, great. That doesn't work. Let me switch strategies. I'm going to try and shoot the archers. I'm going to anti-arch the archers with my own bow. That's great, except for I suck at archery. So now let's try 30 minutes trying to figure out how to do the bow. Okay, cool. I'll go there. Now I figure out, okay, finally, I kind of got it in my head. Okay, close range archery is the way to do this. I'm going to run up. Hopefully they don't shoot me to death, which, by the way, 50% of the time you're going to run to those ramparts, you're going to get shot in the head and die by 1 or 2 arrows. You're just going to die. You're going to just evaporate. Restart. It's awful. I mean, it seriously boggles the mind. I'm going to put that video up. I might put it up uncut just to show the absurdity of the entire thing. It's absurd. It really is. So finally, you figure out a way to cheese the game. You kill all the archers. Now you're on to the next scene. Guess what? You got to deal with those archers too, or they'll kill all your men, and your men will die, and you got to restart. Okay, kill those archers. Cool. Done. Now it's the boss fight, and I'm really redacting that. I mean, imagine 2 hours, maybe more, before I even get to the boss fight of just fighting poor gameplay, poor everything. It's just awful. I think if I played a second time, I would get better at it. I'd know what to do. I'd probably take not even half the time. I'd probably take 20 minutes. Seriously. So a lot of it is skill. Now that you've went through all the trial and error of fighting the game, and I would like to say that it was a great experience, that it made perfect sense. Oh, it was just a learning experience. I had to learn what to do. I can't hinge it on that because it literally felt sloppy, inconsistent, and terrible. Not to mention just the way the NPCs all acted and fought together was sloppy. So you'd expect a game that's focused on working with and being a part of the NPC environment, like the same environment they are. You're not special. You're just Henry the peasant. You wouldn't be expected to get any special roles in an all-out war, an all-out battle. You wouldn't be expected to do all of this crazy stuff, and you'd expect to be a part of the team. But the entire battle hinges on you. And let me tell you something. A game like this, it doesn't work out well. It's just one giant bug. It does not work out well. It doesn't look pretty. And it's just so unpolished. I was almost embarrassed being a part of it. Then you get to the boss battle. The fighting mechanics are almost so ridiculous that you don't even know what to do. So once again, you fall back. Okay, I'm going to fight the most boring fight I possibly can so I don't take any damage. And I'm going to hit him once or twice every time I parry him. It takes forever. My best fight on the main boss, which is the guy who steals your sword at Skalitz, took forever. It took 20 minutes and I ended up dying anyway. I hit him time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. It's crazy. Not to mention you barely have time to upgrade your armor during all the chaos of the game, fighting the low carry weight, which I love the low carry weight, by the way. I love that. But it doesn't jive well with the expectations that they're throwing on you so early in the game. This game is like so realistic that, I mean, when I was on the hunting trip with that guy, I felt like, holy crap, I'm like doing real work is what this feels like. I had to actually bury my parents, all that crap. Like, it all feels so real that you wouldn't expect special duties and stuff. But I got to fight the same guy with practically peasant clothes on that I could barely afford, with Sir Radzig's salary and selling stuff. I could barely afford it, what I had on. You barely have time. If you loot one of the people on the ground, you do, well, you might be overweight and too exhausted to fight, but you might be able to put something on. That kind of breaks the immersion, though. So you're back to square one again. The things they expect you to do are counterintuitive to what they're trying to accomplish, which is total immersion in a realistic environment. So I fight the guy, and what do I end up doing? Well, I can tell you right now, the target-based combat does not work in this major boss fight. He gets too many free blows. You can play the most boring fight you can, and I've actually read forums where people take out their bow, run away from him, and shoot him with 2 headshots, and he's done. That's the way hundreds of other players of this game are figuring out is the only way to beat him. I'm not the only one. I took an hour to beat this guy, and I tried for the first hour basically to beat him how I felt the game intended it, because I felt like, okay, the developers aren't going to do anything that's literally impossible, and I'm sure it's not impossible if you prepare enough with premonition. Meaning, the second time I'll have no trouble. I'll make sure I'm armed to the teeth. I got all the good armor. I know my way around the game. But to expect it through the first playthrough kind of breaks the lore and immersion you're trying to put in with a game like this. It just seems counterintuitive to me. All right. How do I beat him? I cheese the gameplay mechanics. I run around him. I do away with the lock-on mechanic because the lock-on based combat is broken. He can't block attacks that when you're not locked on with him. So you look away from the screen and you're allowed to get free hits on him. I just did that over and over again. After 5, 6, 7, 8 hits, he was done. And guess what? He was done so much quicker. I got 5, 6, 7, 8 hits when I was in the lock-on mechanics with him. He didn't die. So you do more damage when you're not locking on too. It's just weird. Them trying to make the game so realistic with the lock-on ruins it, because now you can barely fight 2 people. It just gets totally wonky. You can barely fight more than 1 person. And if they're both pretty skilled, you got no way. One skilled guy is hard enough because they get free counters. You guys can counter back and forth 4 times in a row, and you still haven't earned a free hit, even though it's pretty damn hard. Even though you've put skill points in combos that should be unblockable, perhaps, let's say. Well, they're not. You don't get any freebies whatsoever. And you have to hope the gameplay mechanics work 100% of the time, which they don't. They absolutely do not. So 3 hours in the most excruciatingly painful experience I've ever had in any video game I've ever played, which was the Battle of Prisbolitz. I've got to say, I still am in love with this game. I'm now past that point, and now I'm dealing with the plague victims of Mehruid, or whatever it's called, Mehruid. I can't figure out what to do. I'm waiting for Sir Radzig. I'm going back because I don't know if there's a glitch. I want to figure out the game so I can progress the story, because I'm so invested in the story. I'm so invested in the characters. I want this game to be great. And quite frankly, I can't give it even a rating. All I can tell you is that I absolutely adore the game, but it's got a host of unbelievable problems. They make me want to pull my hair out. In episode 6 of Village Troublemaker, let's just put it like this. I murdered the entire town of Mehruid, the plague victims. And I know I'm botching that pronunciation, but I murdered them all. I had a psychotic breakdown. I couldn't take it anymore. 3 times I tried to save that guy because I want to do the path where I interrogate the guy. I go through all the trouble 3 times to get the plague victims their medicine. None of the times they work. Yet I look on the walkthroughs, and there's definitely a quest chain where you take that guy back to Rate, just like you have everyone else. So this has been a regular talk review, and I've got mostly bad things to say about this game, but nothing but love for it. So do with that what you will. It's been the Regular J regular talk review. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit odd of a format. It is my first ever review, and I hope you loved it. And more importantly, I hope you subscribe, tell your friends about me, share this as much as you can, and join me on Twitch to watch everything occur with me so we can enjoy the beauty that is this broken game together. Twitch.tv/TheRegularJay. Love you guys. Hit that subscribe button. Come follow me on Twitch, and let's beat this game into a bloody pulp together. Adios, my friends. Have a good one.